Um, Today we are going to talk about annotations. Yesterday we have done the course till reserved keywords in Apex. Coming to annotations, um, the first and uh, important annotation is art future. These are like generally this future annotation is generally useful to run Apex methods asynchronously. Okay, means this generally in the meaning of this only the annotation meaning it says that the method will execute in future whenever you have the resources ready. Okay, this method runs asynchronously like asynchronous JavaScript Ajax. After you'll get some resources free, and I'll show this example to you. I do have one good example for this when you're going to use the scenario. And the other real important, you use this art is test in every project, because art future other annotations we won't be using many times, but is test is required to test your Apex classes. For example, after developing your code in your organization for deploying to the production to the live environment, you need the test coverage. You need 75% test coverage. How you are going to test the how you're going to get the achieve the test coverage? You have to use test classes. You have to write test classes for that. So whenever you're writing test classes, to identify that is a test method or test method, you have to represent at is test before that uh, method. Okay. um, Sorry. So before that method, then it says it donates classes that contains Apex test class code. Means the code what you're writing for testing Apex classes will not be included into your organization's code number of lines of code. For suppose I am going to the organization, if you go to Apex page, Apex classes page, you see the number of lines of code you have coded in your current organization and how many lines of code left to code. See, there is 10.37 Apex used. Sorry, yeah, 3,01,1,226 characters of Apex code you have used. So this excludes each test annotation classes. It won't be included. All the test methods, test classes won't be included in this lines of characters. It won't be considered as a yeah, the running executable code. Okay. If you are not mentioning this at this test, means this will be included in this number of lines of code of the organization, and you have some limit for that also. Okay, we have limit around uh, 30 lakhs lines of code. Here currently we have done 3 lakh lines of code total. Sorry, 3 lakh characters of code total. 30 lakh characters of code is the limitation for this current organization. After if you reach this if you reach this limit, you have to request Salesforce to give some additional ability to code Apex language. They'll give it based on your request. Okay, they may charge some amount to you. Okay, note that. Yeah, so this includes Apex classes and triggers. Again, this won't be including VF pages. VF page is a different type of code. That is the front end code that don't needs any logical stuff, logical uh, execution blocks, everything like this. Okay, um, here for running the test for knowing the test coverage. After creating your classes and test classes, you have to click on run all tests. What this will do, this will run execute all the test classes in your current organization, and it will show the test coverage to you for each and every class and the total organization also. If the total organization test coverage is more than 75% only, then you can deploy your all the Apex classes and code triggers to the production environment. Okay, and so what all you have developed using configuration like with button clicks, everything that don't needs any test coverage. So whichever code you have written in Apex for customization work, that all this part will need the test coverage, and we have to use art is test notation to run this to make this as a test class. And There is some attributes for this notation. So this also known as a test class, and this makes the test method executes on the package installation. Okay, so when the package is getting installed, right, this test method is getting executed on install only, on install equal to true, otherwise it won't be executed. Okay, and the other see all data equal to true attribute is generally useful to access all the data in the environment, like custom settings data. Okay, the current organization, this is including access to all data in the organization, including pre-existing data that the test did not create. Okay, generally when you are testing any, so for suppose you have written some apex class on the account object, what you have to do is you have to create a test class, and you have to initialize, you have to insert some records into account object, because when you are in testing mode, you won't be having all the real-time data, in means all the data what you have entered actually before 1 or 2 days back in the system. You have to enter manually, it won't consider the existing data. You have to enter data manually. Sorry, programmatically you have to enter by creating some new instance of account and inserting some values, and click on insert account. There are some steps for that. You after inserting it, you have to test it. Some people don't want to insert data, they want to use the existing data. In that cases, you can put see all data equal to true, so that you can access that data. By default, this is false. You cannot access the default see all data in the organization. Okay, this is like attribute in our apex tag. So this is simple. In the brackets, you have to add see all data equal to true, so you can even access the custom settings in the current organization. Okay, that's the important thing. Otherwise, you have to create new custom settings if you're not using this. And what is deprecated? Okay, for suppose uh, there are some methods in the current organization, and some methods or classes uh, that no longer is going to be used in the coming releases. Okay, in manager packages, right, what happens, you're going to develop a package version 1 in 2010. Okay, after 2002, after 1 year of 6 months, or every 6 months you're going to release some new package. For suppose you thought there is unnecessary method in your organization, you cannot delete it. You have to make at the rate of deprecated before the before the class, before the method, so that what happens, so it will notify that this is not the upgradable thing, sometime something like this. Okay, this is deprecated, this is not going to be updated, and this is not going to be used from the future, in the future versions. And again, the existing people who are using this method can use this. Okay, and so one of the main advantage of this is also useful for identification for the developers who are developing new versions on the package, saying you cannot use this method for reference, you cannot reference this method in future versions. Okay, and there's one more read-only attribute, um, read-only annotations that can only queries but cannot update the records. Okay, if you put read only in this method, you can only query the data, you cannot update the records. Okay, and remote actions. So this generally this remote action annotation, um, so this generally mentioned so this is simple, like you're getting called this method from a JavaScript call, then you're going to use this remote action annotation. Okay, which is in the VF page. So generally in VF page you have mm, JavaScript codes, right? JavaScript you can put in insert in VF pages. You can call these functions if on refresh, on search off, on key up, or something like this. Okay, this method is generally static and global, so that the global methods means they can anyone can access it. That is the reason. I'm able to give the information to the JavaScript which is in my VF page. Okay, so and again, a rest source. At rest source is a annotation mainly useful for creating u- URL mapping for REST type of integrations. For suppose you are building some URL in Salesforce for SAP customers. You want to give some information to them. What you do? You generally create a simple REST source with some URL, like URL mapping equal to hash widget, something like that. Means api1.salesforce.com hash version v01 backslash widget something. Means if they are calling this URL, you are going to call this apex class. Means you are linking this URL, widget URL, with this apex class. Okay. um, this class must be global because we are showing some information to the other people, other partner users, other system people. Whoever calls this URL, we are going to call this method, we are going to class this complete class, global class, and we are going to return some data for them, maybe JSON data or XML data, anything. Okay, so this is how the instance look like. HTTPS instance salesforce.com has services apex rest. I'm going to show this stuff when I'm demoing the when I'm trying to create the REST type of integrations in, and I will test the same thing in workbench.developer.force.com. Okay, workbench.force.com. Okay, have you tried this tool? So I already shared this tool long back when we are in the earlier classes. Okay, I want to show it again. Workbench. Okay, I'll say the URL. Okay, I want to search here somehow. Okay, workbench. Yeah, workbench. Yeah, workbench.developerforce.com it seems. Let's try check this. Um, log into workbench now on info developer force. Yeah, this is the workbench.developerforce.com. Okay, I forgotten. I will share this URL in the chat. You can, or else in the chatter group, because chat will be expired after this call. So I just want to share everything in the chatter group. Um, so sci-fi shared some document also. I'm seeing it here. Yeah. So this link right from here you can access. So as I've already logged in the organization, right, it's simply asking whether it's production or all this stuff. If you want to go with sandbox login, you have to click on sandbox. As it is a production, I'm just checking it, I'm agreeing the terms and conditions, I'm clicking on login to Salesforce. It says that there's already logged in user as this guy. Do you want to allow? Click on okay, yes. Now I can see the workbench access, where I can, this tool is like web based and you can do a lot of information here. You can run SQL queries, you can see the subjects, all this stuff. So subject information, I'm selecting on account. This shows the information about this as object. Okay, what attributes are there. This is all metadata. You can see this is everything for each and every object what you're creating in the in the front end. Everything, there is a lot of tables, attributes, relationships, fields, and record types access will be there. These are all, see, these are all fields. If I click on billing city, I can see the exact properties of this field. See, these are all properties. You are not going to create this everything on front end. If your marking is required, it automatically marks the required field equal to true here, something like this. Filterable equal to true. Where is required field? So this is standard field. Let's go with our any custom fields. It's taking some time to load. Yeah, I have already opened it. So where is the required option? Unique is false. Same way you can see required also. Mhm, mhm. Label active precision. Okay, I don't see the required option here. Somehow we have to check it. There might be some different name also, creatable custom. No, let's check later. Okay, these are all properties of the current field called active in account object. Okay, so this is one part of getting information about standard custom objects. You can even access metadata types and components and session information. What is the current session? And I want to open the session information here. So yeah, this is the current session ID of my login. Okay, the current connection. If I'm expanding as a user, this is the information of the user who logged in as current. So this is the profile ID, this is the role ID, this is the user ID, and this is the organization ID. Okay, and this is the organization size limit and organization the currency code, organization name, and even you can see the metadata like this is the namespace, organization namespace is book 9. That's the reason it's adding to all the things. And same way, this is the session ID. The session ID looks like this, and it's really big here. And you can even search SOQL query. You can query some data from the backend. SOSL is you can useful. This is useful for searching the some data inside your organization. Okay, Salesforce object search language and streaming push topics. Um I have to explore this handshake. I don't know about this. I will let you know in the coming classes. Okay. Okay. It's simply like it's pushing some notifications automatically. It's saying whether it's connected or not. The current status, the live status of this application. Okay. Let's click on something. I want to check the status of this. Okay. Connection established. Pulling 8. Okay. Something like that. I will explore this. I think streaming push topics. Something like that. We are checking the status of the live session. Maybe. Okay. 9 pool created. Pool completed. Okay. Some. Okay. Coming back to our rest source. So I just came here to show the how to test the rest URL, something like this. Okay. Coming here, there is a rest explorer. If you click on this, so this is my rest explorer where I can see I can test my even my rest services which I have created as a URL mapping. I can test that URL here, putting this in this case I'm gonna put widget URL here. Okay, after services widget I will put it. I will test whether it's working fine or not. Okay. um, if I click on execute, this will execute the complete information inside organization. I can even expand all the objects in my system. If I click on this, I see the JSON format. Okay, everything is written in the form of JSON. Okay, these are all S objects. This is account as object. These are all URLs. So if I click on this, okay, I will be getting for suppose okay, click on execute. S objects. Okay, I want to show you this one thing. Okay, account, and here is the URLs for accessing the data. This is the URL. So this is the URL for row template, for accessing the row template. Okay, click on this. If I give some ID here, okay, let's go to our system and click on account. Select any account customer and take the ID here and copy. Try to paste here. Let's try executing this. I'm expecting the record value of this. See, so if you pass like this information of the current account ID, I got the complete information of the current ERM Clouds account. See, this is ERM Clouds. ERM Clouds is the name. Coming here, sorry, coming here to this account object. Yeah, this is ERM Clouds account name, which I already exist, which I existingly, which I opened is a ERM Clouds account name. The name is shown here. And the website is ERM Clouds. If you come here, it's the same thing, right? Name is this ERM Clouds. These are all the people IDs who created this record, who when it is created 24 3 10, okay, and created by, and who modified this. Okay, they have no one modified this. First time it's created. Okay, everything is here. You can access the information like this. If I click on show raw response, this is the JSON format. What is JSON? What is JSON? JSON is JavaScript object notation. This is really famous notation to transfer data between applications these days. Okay, um, earlier XML is also one of the really great format people are using that many days. Now this has become really famous, the JSON format object notation. Okay, JavaScript object JavaScript object notation. Okay, so you can see the JSON data here directly. See, in the same way, you're gonna test the URLs what you have created with the REST source. Okay, and let's come up with HTTP GET POST. It's also these are all annotations linked with at resource, at REST source. Okay, at REST source. Below that, you can create multiple type of methods. Okay, when a person is hitting this URL, okay, after this URL, you can get or you can post some data. So coming here, what is get, post, all this stuff? See, get, post, put, pass, delete, head are options given by Salesforce. Okay, what is get? With get, right, you can get information from Salesforce and you can see the record JSON format and you can access that. What is post? This is useful for generally updating. Okay, post means you can even useful for inserting also. Patching is useful for updating and changing some information. Putting is generally useful for creating new record into the system. For SAP, if there is some data created in SAP, if you want to create the same data in Salesforce, they can call this HTTP put. Okay, HTTP delete is useful for deleting the data in Salesforce system. These are all REST methods given, and this annotation should be represented before that methods like this: HTTP get, post, HTTP delete. Okay, uh, so we're gonna explain this thing later. Okay, I'll show this stuff in real example. One example I want to show this. Mm. So coming back to, after finishing this, we have primitive types. These are like basic things in every programming language. Boolean, string, date, blob. You might be knowing what is blob. Binary. It's a binary data stored in a single object. Image files you can store word files, and after that you can add extension for that. Okay, it's a simple binary file. Boolean value, it will store only three type of values: true, false, or null value. If it is not assigned to any value, it's null value. Okay, and date format, it will show the date. So for initializing the date, sometimes you want to initialize the date in the default date equal to today. In this case is date format, and date type my date equal to date dot today will bring you the today's date stored in this my date variable. Okay, this is a variable, date variable. And what is date time? This will store even time also along with your date. Time also will be stored with the with the zone also. If you are storing your time, if you have configured the zone as GMT or something like that, it will store that information also in this. We already tried this, right? Check, here is the time zone. um, T17 plus 000. This is, I think this is the time zone. At the end, 000 is the time zone. So okay. Sometimes they may add some plus 6 hours, plus 7 hours, or plus 630 hours. Means you are ahead of this time zone, central time zone. Okay, you can follow that. So this is how you gonna set. If you want to set the default value, if you want to do some operations, for suppose you want to save when this action is happened. In that case, in the method you want to initialize date, date time equal to, this is the variable, equal to date time dot now. What is now? Now means it will store the today date as well as today time also, current time also. Okay, today simply shows the time. Now stores the sorry, today it generally stores the date with year, month and day. Now stores the year, month, day, hour, minute and seconds also. Okay, and coming back to decimal, what decimal you might be knowing. So you can even have the precision up to some x number, um, with 4 digits or 5 digits also. It's like a decimal, 1.88 or 500.686, something like this. Okay, and if you want to go only with integers, there is other format called integer. First, only storing integer values, incrementing simply 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, 30. Okay, like this. And they have given the maximum and lowest values for this. 2, 1, 4, 7, 4, 8, 3, 6, 4, 8 is the maximum. Minimum value and maximum value is again the positive value of that. And what is ID in Salesforce? This is ID, the special field in Salesforce. Each and every object what you are dealing with in Salesforce will be having a ID. That's called Salesforce ID. That is the unique primary key in each and every object. Okay, that is the reason it's 18-digit ID. Generally, you can even see the 15-digit ID, which is relevant to, which is similar to this ID also in the application. When you are seeing here, so this ID is having 15-digit ID. If you can see here, till 5-digit code, till here it's 5, till here it's 5. This is also an ID. There is a internal converter for this, from 15-digit ID to the 18-digit ID of Salesforce. Okay, there is some algorithm for that, and there is even a formula field also to convert this 15 digit to 18 digit ID. In the application of Salesforce using 15 digit ID, when you come to the back end, okay, this will show you the 18 digit ID. See, this is 15 digit ID. This is the same on 18 digit ID. See, 5 digits, 5 digits, 5 digits, and there is 3 digits extra digits also, 18 digit ID. So they consider these two things as same. Okay, in Salesforce, there are two type of IDs in Salesforce: 15 digit and 18 digit ID. 18 digit ID is generally useful in the API cases. In the API stuff, when you're talking in the programmatic way, we generally use 18 digit IDs. When you are using application, you're gonna check only 15 digit IDs. Okay, and coming back to double, yeah. So double is again very big values. 64-bit number that includes a decimal point. Minimum value is minus 2 power 63 and maximum value is 2 power 63 minus 1. Okay, and long value, this is again same bigger value. um this doesn't have a, so generally decimal and double are similar. So the very bigger decimal values will be stored in double. Very bigger values of integer is stored in long. Okay, long is this don't have any decimal numbers. Okay, It seems simply integer, but it's a very big number. String is generally okay. This is a general function used in any of the programming languages for storing characters. So for suppose this is the installation for string. String s equal to, in a single quotes you have to represent each and every string is initialized and assigned the value with single quotes. Okay. And time. So earlier we generally use date and time format. Now we have separate object called time for storing the particular time information. So we have time dot new 1830 to 20. This is how the installation of time primitive type. 18 hour 30 minutes 2 seconds 20 milliseconds it seems. uh, okay. And you can even access by clicking on my minutes. If you want to know the minutes in this current thing, right, I can just call like this my minute. What is that minute time, the current time? How many number of minutes in the current time? 20 minutes or 30 minutes? Okay, I can get by accessing this. Collection types, yeah, these are really important in Salesforce. You're gonna use this a lot in Apex language to process something, to store some records internally, and modifying some data and storing again in a new collection list. All this stuff. What are lists? List is simply like array. It can store an object, it can store integers, it can store a strings also. Okay. What's happening here in the second thing? It's storing the list of accounts. What happens here? List of strings. Okay. You can add a number of lists. It's like a simply array bucket type of thing. And whenever you are inserting something, right, this will add some size. If you add four strings in your in your list method, for how to get the size, simply list the list name dot size. It will bring down the size to you. And what is, if you want to access the first value, list name, in the square brackets if you put 0, it will bring the first value to you. If you in square brackets, in the square brackets, if you put 1, it will bring the second value. Okay, there's an index for a list also. And what is map? Map is like a key pair type of thing. You're gonna see this type of data type in even Python, some many languages like Lua, all this stuff, and even in Java also, I think so. And a map generally have an identification key before each and every value. So in a map there is a key. The first value is key and second value is value. Okay, key value. This is a pair of values. Okay. So this is how you are going to initialize the string map. Both are strings. Key is a string and value is also a string. So here in this, I'm mapping. So the value for string. Okay. So the value, if you get the value of b, right, you have to you have to use the key a for accessing this b. Generally you can make the key as integers also and make the um, value as strings, so that one Srikant, second two, if I call two, I can bring the value of two, which is might be some other data, Srikant, Venkat, anything. Okay, if it is, if two link is with Venkat, it will bring two, something like that. Same way, you can even map value as account, as object also. You can map objects into the value. Okay, for suppose you have four items in a list. Okay, but you want to map you can store even the id as a key and complete object details in the as a value. So in this case, if you're trying to access, this is way how to put map m dot put map name dot put key comma value, means this will be inserted into the system. And you can even put a number of values like this. You can put a lot of data into this. And if you want to query the information, you have to simply get, if you use get function, map dot get, simply send the key value, like 2 1 or 3. The key value might be anything, right, based on your current scenario. If it is integer, it's an integer. You can get the value of that. Simply map name dot get the key value, sorry, the key name, you'll get the value for that particular key. And what is the third collection type? Sets. Set is also is similar to list only, list format, but this is unordered collection that do not contain any duplicates. Okay, this don't be having any duplicates in this. um, for example, you are inserting repeated values into this set. What happens now? This is having the similar methods of list only, list dot add, here also set dot add, s dot add. Okay, and if you're adding repeated values, what will make it won't consider the second value, it won't be inserting the second value because it's already there in the system, right? So that this makes it as a unordered list of items. Okay, it is similar to list, but it won't accept the repeated values, and the ordering is gone with this. Okay, because one I'm inserting 1 2 3 4, again I'm inserting 1 2 3 4. There are total 8 values, but in the list set there will be only 4 values. What is the fifth value? The order is gone. There is no value in fifth value. Okay. What are trigger context variables? I said we are going to extend the workflow rules with Apex triggers. We can only do some till some extent only. You can do automation with workflow rules. You can't do large, very big scenarios in workflow rules. For doing the such type of field updates or some transactions, for firing some URLs, for firing some REST URLs and taking some information. Every that type of information is going to be executed in triggers. Triggers are only executed when there is some DML operation happened on the in the application on any object. For suppose if there are multiple type of triggers. One is insert trigger, insert, update, delete, before, after, and delete. So these are all context variables. Is insert. Is insert means if you are inserting some, if you are writing a trigger on account object, and you have done writing a trigger on account object and you are trying to insert some record, this trigger only fires when there is a is insert method. Okay, you have done that is insert. This is useful for checking whether this is insert or is update or is delete or is before is after, is before delete or is after delete, is before insert or is after insert. This is two type of context variables. Well, you can even have one more context variable what is executing, whether you want to do some parallel action when a record is getting inserted, is executing. Okay, when saving the record you want to do some operation, that type of things also is done. These are context variables is executing. Okay, so is insert, this generally returns a value, true value, so that in a simple if function you make it as if is insert, huh? Is insert means the loop will be executed only when the value is getting inserted. Then you can put some logic inside that if block saying if this is inserted you do this type of operations, you create some new record, a new other object record. That thing you can do. This is simply context variables. Okay, so from this only you're going to get multiple type of triggers: insert trigger, update trigger, a delete trigger, on and is before insert, before after trigger, sorry, after trigger, before triggers, after triggers, all this type of. Okay, and again there are some other context variables called new map, old. What is new? This context variable, so for suppose if you are using inside account object, this new will be having the list of all accounts inserted or updated. Okay, based on the context variable, new item will be having all the new accounts created in the system, list of account records. Okay, what is new map? New map will be having the list of all list, this is a map which is having a list of new account records created in the system with id as a key, and the complete object values, account name, city, billing city, everything as a values in the values. Okay, and what is old? So this generally returns a list of old versions of the current subject records. For suppose when you are deleting a record you want to compare what is the old value. Okay, or if you are updating some record you want to compare with the old values, what is the old value, what is the new value. Okay, In that case, you want to use this old values. It will simply return the list of old values for the new updated transaction, new updated records. And there are two more variables for us called old map. This is a list of old map records, old map of records of the current object. And size, again, size is a simple method to test total number of records in the trigger invocation. Okay, this can be the list size also. The same function can be used in the list size. Okay, and now we are moving down to the DML operations uh, available in Salesforce Apex language. Insert, generally for inserting the record into the database. Delete is for deleting the data record in the database. Merge. What is merge? Merge is something like you want to um, merge two type of accounts. Okay. For suppose there is an account you already created called Acme, and there's one more account created as Acme Solutions. Both are same. You are creating two duplicate records, but you want to match this both these two. Okay. Merge up. Um, so this merge function will merge up to three records of same type into one record, deleting the others and reparenting any other related records. Okay. um, Generally, for suppose if there are some child objects for this account, it will reparent, it will change the parent to the main merged object, merged record. Okay, this will do. So this can do up to three records. If there are three solutions like Acme Inc, Acme I solutions, these three can be measured into one record. The information will be grouped at all, grouped, and the child records for other Acme solutions, Acme Inc, will be reparented to the Acme company. Okay, because the master object is removed, right? What will happen to the child objects of Acme solutions? That will be reparented. And undelete. So undelete is useful for restoring from recycle bin. Okay, this is also a method inside Apex. You can use it. Okay, again, for querying the records which are deleted in the recycle bin, just simply write a query. Select ID name, account ID, account name, account number from account object where is delete equal to true. Okay, means this will show you all the list of records which are deleted. So generally each and every object in Salesforce will be having a simple field called is delete. Let's go back to our schema builder. Okay, see what is this is deleted. This is a field inside a table, account table. It's false here because it's not deleted. Okay, because it's not deleted, that's the reason it's showing here as false. It's already there in the system, right? If I delete this record, okay, now I have removed this record, so that it's saying it you cannot be. Okay, there are some child records. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's go back to our account object, put some customer. Let's see, there is no child objects for this. Yeah, there are some child objects. Now go back again, create new customer, big account. um I have to make 7-digit letter. Okay, and there are many number values which are, my god, sorry. Now it is saved, right? Now I want to remove this, delete. I copied this. Now I'm going back to my workbench and I'm selecting here. Now this will show for is deleted is a simple flag to show whether that is deleted or not. If it is equal to true, means that is in recycle bin, and this is false, right? Now go back to the system and delete this record. Yes, there's no path the child records, that's the reason it's deleted. Now go to the same object and click on execute. Now I see true value there. No, the request was not found. Okay, um let's do one thing. Go to recycle bin. I think I am using a 8 digit 15 digit code only, that's the reason it's not showing there. Click on undelete. Let's, but it's not showing here, but I will show in SOQL Explorer. There's other tool for doing the data transactions. Okay, this is false now. I want to copy this. This is also 18-digit ID. Let's try the final way. Finally, I'm trying this one more time. Yeah, this is also false. Now go back here, click on accounts, and I want to delete this again one more time and try with the 18-digit URL which is with me now. Okay, in the system. Click on I'm deleted now. It went to the recycle bin. Click on execute now one more time. I think I cannot access this information. It's saying it's deleted from the system. Let's do it. Okay. Generally, what happens, right? The is deleted field value in the application is modified to true. Okay, means you cannot. Is deleted means true. It's saying simply simple flag saying this record is deleted, but this is still in recycle bin. You can restore at any point of time before 15 days or 1 month. Okay, and coming back to the upset and delete is that option. Okay, update. What is update? Update option is useful for updating the record. For suppose you want to modify some address information. See here they modified the billing information, billing city, and you are simply trying updating the things. When you are doing this type of DML operations, you have to use this in try catch block. If there is any errors going on, if you are having any validation errors, all this stuff, this will be executed. Catch block will be executed, and you are going to show the messages on the top of the screen. Okay, and same way with the upset. Upset is useful for so upset option is useful only when you are trying to do insert and update in a common in the same operation. Okay, in that case you use upset. So if the record is new, you're gonna be inserting the record. If a record is already there in the system, you're gonna automatically update the record. Okay, for this you need to mark one field as the unique one field for identification whether this is a old field or a new field. Okay, upset values. I have already showed you in the data loader also. The same functionality will go happen here, but this is the programmatical way of doing these things: inserting data, delete data, update data, and even undeleting the data and offsetting the data. Okay, and finally, I'm coming back to the interface method. So some methods I won't be explaining much, but here we are. There is a other option in Sales in Apex called Batch Apex. What is Batch Apex? For suppose you want to for something happen, you want to give hikes to all the employees in your company. You want to upgrade the salary by 10% of every employee in the system. Now you want to run a batch for if there are 1.5 lakh employees, you can't do it manually. You can write a simple batch saying and get all the records of this object, make salary into 100% means 10% increase. It automatically updates in batch in a single. You can schedule this job in one time. The batch job in at some point of time like 5 in the morning or 4 a.m. in the morning. This batch will be executed at that time, and it will update all the records of your employee object. That's called batch apex in Salesforce. So these are all the methods you're gonna use it here. Query locator, for getting the query thing, and batchable class, execute and finish. These are three methods available in main important methods available. We have to use in batchable thing, batch apex. Explain it later. And schedule apex. Scheduling is again I said right. You if you want to schedule a job, this batch is a job actually, batch job. You can use the schedule method to schedule at some point of time every day morning 5 a.m. To do that, you do the scheduling uh, class scheduling method, execute method. Okay, schedulable context is the is also is have to be used there. You have to extend it. Okay, and there are messaging class in Salesforce for sending inbound and outbound messages, um, for handling the emails coming inside, for sending out emails to the other systems, all this stuff. Okay, for other people in the client customers. Same way we have other thing called comparable. So So you can even compare to other object, for this, for comparison thing. This is a standard interface method available in Salesforce for comparisons. And coming back to, this is our last slide, last uh, part. So these are a lot of system methods called abort job for killing the jobs in the system. um, for suppose you want to kill the bad jobs, okay, then you have to use this abort job. You can use this, you can do the same thing programmatically as well as in the UI side. I'm going to explain it later how to kill the job bad jobs when we are running at that stuff. And again, asset and asset equals to are generally, so I can compare when we are using test classes. I said that you are going to input some data temporarily in the test class for testing your Apex classes, and finally, after getting some results, you are going to compare that results, that variables, with your expected values. For suppose you have written a function to do some operation, like it will make sum of 2 plus variable a plus variable b. I'm creating a variable a and variable b and passing to the test class as 2 and 3. Okay, 2 is a variable a, 3 is variable b. I am expecting 2 plus 3 equal to 5. That is my result. I am expecting that result to be shown there as a developer. But if my test class is wrong, so I am doing some comparison. This is the this is the result, actual result coming from that class, and this is my expected value. So you have to map this thing in asset statement. For this it useful, asset equals to, you can even, this is also a similar method, you can compare two values here, and asset not equals to, showing that it won't be some value. Okay, sometimes you know that it can't be this value, it's the reverse probability. For suppose, um mm, reverse probability means, for suppose you are not expecting the result should be 0, okay, it should be some positive value. In that cases, what you do, the system dot asset not equals to the variable what you are getting, the finally some var comma 0, means you are saying that this should not be equal to 0. Okay, if that is true, means only your value, your test class is running perfectly, otherwise means there is some problem, and the test coverage will go bad if you are having some errors in your system dot asset statements. Okay, and the current page reference to get the current page value of the system, and the current time milliseconds, so it will get the time for you in milliseconds. Debug is useful for debugging the Apex code in your system, and is running test method is useful to test whether test is running or not. Now is useful for showing the time of current time, and process everything, and run as, you can run as some user also. For suppose you want to try the application as a person, other person, okay, then you can run that particular code as that user, and you will try testing it. Okay, that's useful for this. Reset password useful for resetting password. Process, I'm not clear on this, and I will let you know. Okay, and schedule, for schedule Apex, scheduling these things, and schedule batch, this is all keywords and methods. Okay, classes. Set password, you can even set password for some users for testing and for dry runs, all this stuff. Submit, saving, and today is for showing the today's date. These are all the math functions available in, even you can use this in our Apex classes. Absolute, acos, asin, a tan 2, logarithm functions, exponential functions, modulus functions, minimum function, maximum functions, size in, okay, all this stuff. Okay, tan, round to long. What is round to long means, it will trim the number of digits. You can round numbers also based on what is 5.6 equal to 6, it will round to 6. Okay, you can round to some particular digit value. And again, there is describe values. Okay, this is gonna check you whether you can get name, you can get local name, get the value, get the child relationships of account object. You can use this method there directly. Get a subject type, you can get the subject type of the current object what you're passing into it. So these are mostly useful in dynamic Apex. Okay, Dynamic apex is the process of you don't know what object you're going to perform action on, and you don't know what fields are available in that dynamic current object. Dynamic apex will this dynamic apex, you're going to use dynamic apex in that case, then you are going to get even the s object details also. Okay, and even the number of fields in this for saving and for storing everything there. Okay, dynamic objects, and is accessible means whether the data is accessible to this guy or not, to the current user, is creatable. So means this keyword, if you're using this method, means uh, this will return true whether this will be only executed when if they have create permissions. Okay, these are all methods. This is written true or false. In the if loop, if you say is, if it is creatable only, you are going to insert some values. In that case, you're going to use this. If it is updatable, creatable means automatically updatable. Updatable is already there. Okay, undeletable. So some records you don't want to be undeleted. So in that case, is undeletable equal to you make it as false, and you can't. That guy cannot do this. You cannot delete. Okay, you cannot undelete. Sorry. Okay, this is schema dot record type info. You'll get the record type information of the current of all the objects. Here you are simply passing the record type name, rt dot name. What are record types? You already know what is record types. It's for identifying and classification of objects. Okay, generally this record type is a separate object in Salesforce, and this have all the object type of records. For suppose, if you have created three record types in for account object, means you are inserting three records into the record type object, saying this is record id, this is related to which this account object, and this is a business. The name of the record type is business name, business account. Okay, that you are going to store in a system table called record type. And there are a lot other methods called describe, field, results. So whether it's groupable field, so is nullable field or not, is sortable, all this stuff. Okay, these are all methods. You can use it in your apex class whenever you need. So generally the complete meaning is inside this only, whether you can do this operation or not, is updatable or is deletable, is unique or is sortable. Okay, this all meanings are there. And again, when you're debugging your code, there is a type of log level. Okay, there are seven type of log levels. It starts from error, warning, info, debug, fine, finer, finest. Okay, means if you put that log level as error only, you only see the error information only. You don't see the general information, what's happening to the data flow, all this stuff. So if you want to the complete information of your debug logs, you keep it as a finest. What is finest? Finest will show you the logs when you are creating some variables, when you are passing that variables and calculating some data. Everything is shown in the finest debug log level. If you're putting only debug, it will show the debug logs of all system debug logs along with information, warnings, and errors. This is the next level. Okay, if you put debug log, so generally what are debug logs? System.debug is a function. Inside that, whatever you write, whatever you want to show, that list of informations, you can show there directly, and it will print in the system debug logs here. Okay, so for final results, if you are still unable to fix the problem in the system with simple error, warning, info, and debug type of levels, try the finest level. You will get the exact results, what's happening in the system, how is the data flow happening between the variables, all this stuff, and methods. Okay, and again, these are a lot other methods, similar methods available here. um, Methods available, dml limit. So this is all limit methods. Actually, exactly, I forgotten to share something like Salesforce will put lot other limitation on number of results. You cannot modify more than 100 or 100 records at this point of time. You can only query 50,000 records at one point of time. That is, there are a lot of limits on Salesforce FX platform. Why are why are these limitations available to us? Because you are in a cloud environment. Many people are using the same cloud environment, right? There is a big server. The same server is shared to 100 number of customers across the globe. They are accessing from their mobiles, browsers, and everything. If one guy is trying to, sorry, if one guy is trying to uh, use the system in a very really big way, is he's trying to use for more data, he's trying to hit the system API system for many API calls, all this stuff. It The system may go down at some point of time when he's using aggressively. In that cases, you're going to put some limits on all the things on Apex class, on Apex queries, Apex DML statements, Apex requests, API requests, and any operations, everything. Yeah, and number of lines of execution also there is a limit. When you are putting a lot of for loops, and this for loop is running for many time of as there's no limit for this loop. It's executing for lakhs of times or 2 lakh times. Okay, then there is a process to block it. Apex won't allow to run unlimited times, all this stuff. You have to do limitations on everything. You have to write the best code for your application. If you're simply writing the bad code, and if that is taking a lot of resources of your server, they are not going to allow this type of coding system into the Apex. Okay, these are all limit methods. You can check how many number of DML rows left, get limit CPU time, what is the CPU time left, DML rows, number of DML statements left, number of DML statements used also. Okay, what is the heap size left? Heap size means number of currently, if you are doing some lot of operations on 1 lakh record, there might be some heap size for that. Okay, there is some heap size for that. Okay. Mm. And you can use save points also, and you can get that points, and you can run as some users. You can even, there's a limit on number of SQL queries also, number of SQL queries in a single execution. Okay, and again, all this stuff is on single execution. When you are clicking a button, if you are running for 2 lakh lines of code or 5 lakh lines of code, then it's a out of exception, right? So generally, you generally execute around 20 lines of 30 lines, 300 lines of code, 1000 lines of code, all this stuff. If you are executing 50 like 55 lakh lines of code, then it's a really bad thing. People can click on this button and 1,000 times a day or 10,000 times a day, then it will take the server time a lot, right? So then there are a lot of limits there. I can show you the limits. I will share the limits file also to you guys. And again, for getting the user information in the system in the Apex classes, you can use these following functions: get first name, get last name, get locally, get name, get language. Based on this, you can show different type of information in the same screen. In VF pages, right, you want to show different screen, because when you're localizing the application, every Salesforce names are going to be changed. If you are not changing your current VF page, it will be really bad for them. That's the reason they are using this. You can use the get language also, what they have configured in from the system, and based on that language you can show different type of languages, and even in VF page also. Here you're going to use labels for that, custom labels, um, which is a separate function here. That's our simple concept. These labels are generally useful in translations and general way. Okay, you can even put some other stuff also in that. Okay, and we are done with the Apex cheat sheet, and there are many things in this tab. Okay. Okay, and we do have, okay, coming back to workbench, I think you can export this tool slowly, and I will also explain you in the coming classes. uh, okay, guys, I want to close this class for today, and have some Apex guides with me, but this is introduction to object-oriented programming language Apex. Okay, these are all data types. So generally, this is having around 300 pages of document. So everything generally I generally simply explained in a simple cheat sheet. Okay, so the same information, there are a lot of slides for this. Okay, and even what is the date format, date time format, everything is like we made it really simple. And the cheat sheet is really helpful for you guys. I already shared it in our uh, charter. You can download it. So I said about 15 days and 18 days ready, right? So yeah, this is the application and this is the back end stuff which I've done. And everything is like this. And subject type, yeah, this is some simple apex stuff. Okay, what we can do is I can um in the next class we can work on all this stuff, for examples. So this, like, if I am running only these slides, it will take around um, around 40 hours, means 10 20 days. This is completely waste of time. I want to really run really quick. So only I'm using the cheat sheets for explanation, and later on we will try doing the real-time examples on apex code and stuff. Okay. Right. So if you have problem in the classes, if you want me to go a little slow, just ask me in the class and we can do it.